This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, I want to talk about eating to survive as opposed to eating for taste. This video has been wearing heavy on my heart, and I figure, you know what, let me do a video like this because I figure the masses need to hear about this. Here's the thing. When you eat, you need to eat for survival. Don't eat for taste. I'm going to say that again. You need to eat for survival. Don't eat for taste. What does that mean? That means that you need to understand your body. I've said this before in previous health videos. Your body is a comprehensive organism. It's filled with comprehension. There's so many different functions and so many different facets to the body. So with saying all of that, and with that being said, you need to treat the body as truly what it is. It is an organism of comprehension. So therefore, you need to eat in the form of comprehension. You need to have a comprehensive, healthy eating plan. You need to make sure that your diet is nutritionally dense. You need to make sure that your diet is filled with antioxidant activity and properties. And you want to make sure that your diet has nutritional value. These things are essential for your health. So eating things like quinoa, eating things like boiled, pasture raised or vegetarian fed eggs, eating things like bison as opposed to eating, just regular old plain old cow beef meat, eating things like, organic free range or organic, pasture raised chicken. These things will separate you from the pack, relieving yourself away from, pork because, it's a dirty animal. This is not a type of animal that you want to put on your body because when you put, this swine into your body, swine is dirty. So therefore it has dirty facets to it. Not eating a lot of red meats, not eating a lot of cured meats, not eating a lot of processed meats, not eating a lot of smoked meats because these things have a lot of sugar. And we all know sugar is a disease when taken in excess. Insulin, the hormone insulin itself, when it's not in check, it can cause you to be fat. It can cause you to become overweight, and it can cause you to ultimately be obese and to have all of these other issues like, high blood pressure, cholesterol problems, heart problems. You don't want these types of problems. You've heard me say this before. So staying away from these types of foods, highly processed foods. And how do you know if a food is processed? If a food has a long shelf life on it, and it has ingredients in it that you can't pronounce that are so long and so just unpronounceable, that's a telltale sign. When you see things like high fructose corn syrup or corn syrup solids or soy, lecithin or lecithin, when you see things like, and that's another thing, the soy industry has become, the new meat industry. Everything has some form or variation of soy protein or soy lecithin or some kind of highly processed soy. And no two soys are alike. The good soy that you're supposed to eat, which to me, if you're a male, I don't believe you should be ingesting any soy at all. But if there are such a thing as called good soys, things like edamame, things like that of that nature that has good soy in it, beans that have good some variations of soy in it. If you're eating those types of things, and I'm not talking about the highly processed canned beans. I'm talking about beans that grow from Mother Nature. There is some variations of soy in that. If you're eating those kind of soys, they're not going to have any kind of detrimental effects on your body. But when you're eating these types of soys that are put in these processed foods, they can raise your estrogen levels, whether male or female. Oh, yes. Men have estrogen. They don't have it to the magnitude of women. But, eating a lot of these ingredients and these products that are highly processed that has soy in it can do those types of things. They can raise your estrogen levels. And when your estrogen levels are out of whack, this is what can wreak havoc on your hormonal system. And this can wreak havoc in causing you to have different variations of diseases and cancers and things of that nature. And you don't want those types of problems. Eating a diet that's full of leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, things like broccoli, cauliflower, these things of that nature, cabbage. These things are essential for the body, man. Green leafy vegetables like kale, things like chard, things like collard greens. These things are filled with chlorophyll, and chlorophyll or chlorophyll, if I'm even saying it right, is good for the body because it helps your body to rid itself of diseases and cancers and things of that nature, and it keeps your body alkaline. It keeps your body clean. You guys correct me if I didn't even say it right, but I believe I'm saying it right. Chlorophyll. But anyways, if I'm not saying it right, correct me. But the point that I'm trying to make is, eating greens filled with chlorophyll is essential for the body. It cleanses the body out. It rids the body of toxins, and it allows you to digest your food properly, and to have your system your digestive system to be flowing freely, because that's another thing too. You want your digestive system to digest food with the least amount of exertion. And when you eat foods that are filled with nutritional value, things like nuts, legumes, and when I'm talking about nuts, I'm talking about Brazil nuts, I'm talking about macadamia nuts, and I'm not talking about roasted or heavily salted nuts. I'm talking about raw, pistachios, walnuts, pecans, cashews, the list goes on and on. Legumes like peanuts, peanut butter. Peanut butter is not a nut, it's a legume. That's another time and another place, and I'll explain that. Eating good fats like avocado. Avocados high in omega-7. Macadamia nuts high in omega-7. Good. These things are cardioprotective. Eating things like what else was I going to mention? Eating things like chia seeds, cacao nibs, dark chocolate. And I'm talking about dark chocolate or cacao nibs that are 70% and higher, the ones that don't have sugar in it. The more bitter, the better. These things are great for the body. Apple cider vinegar, Bragg's, the organic version. That's the only one you should get. And make sure it's in a glass and not in a plastic bottle. Drinking alkaline water. Remember what I told you homemade alkaline water is. When you put ginger in there, when you put lemon with the peel in there, when you put mint in there, and you got cucumbers in there, you add those four, that's alkaline water. That's homemade alkaline water. When you do that, wheatgrass, just having 1 teaspoon of wheatgrass is equivalent to having 3 to 4 pounds of vegetables. When you eat like this, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, bananas, dates, when you're eating wholesome foods, drinking green tea, coffee, black, no cream or no sugar, when you're drinking and eating these types of foods, they are beneficial to the body. They keep the body anti-aging. They keep the body, cardioprotective. They keep the body functioning at its maximum proficiency. And hence, your health will not be at a negative decline. But if anything, it will be at a positive. Matter of fact, not only will you be slowing the aging process or reversing it down to the crawl, you can pretty much reverse the aging process eating healthy that way. I'll be coming out with more health videos, and I'll be explaining more in depth what these foods are and why you should eat them frequently and more regularly. But I'm just saying, eat to survive. Don't eat for taste. Because when you eat for taste, you lose the whole purpose of eating. Our ancestors didn't eat that way, and they lived for long periods of time. This is He Knows His Sport. Checking out.